Someone who grew up with Sonic Adventures 2, Sonic Heroes, and Shadow the Hedgehog, that very underrated but amazing game, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 had a lot to live up to in terms of hype and excitement. And guys, when I tell you right now that I had goosebumps going all throughout my body during that last third act, and overall the whole film is great, but that last 30 minutes, man, it's worth the price of admission. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new movie review. Today I'm going to be discussing Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and no spoilers. You are going to be safe here. All I will say is that there is a lot that could easily be spoiled here, and you absolutely, definitely do not want to be spoiled on this. So absolutely go make sure, if you're excited for this movie, go check it out right away. Come back. Let's talk spoilers in the comments section, as well as there are two post-credit scenes. The first one, whoo, holy crap. I screamed. I screamed with excitement, I'm not gonna lie. Of course, we're here to talk about the film itself, not the last 30 minutes just exclusively, because that's not the only reason to go see the movie, and specifically not even the post-credit scene. But we're here to talk about Sonic the Hedgehog 3, which very much picks up after the events of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, where Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails now reunite against a powerful new adversary, Shadow, a mysterious villain with powers unlike anything they have faced before. With their abilities outmatched, Team Sonic must seek out an unlikely alliance. This is, of course, directed by Jeff Fowler, which, fun fact, he actually worked on the Shadow the Hedgehog video game, so I think it's kind of a full circle thing here, getting to bring him into live action. But alongside, it stars the rest of the cast that you've seen before, but now adding exclusively Keanu Reeves as Shadow the Hedgehog. And I'm excited to talk about Keanu Reeves' performance, like very much so. So definitely leave your thoughts down below, hit that like and subscribe button, and without further ado, let's dive into my pros for Sonic the Hedgehog 3, which I think I'm at the point where I'm ready to say that like this is the perfect Sonic movie that you could get. Yes, I have nitpicks here and there, but in terms of what the essence and embodiment of Sonic the Hedgehog is, I felt like this film just nailed it down perfectly. Even better than Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which at that point in time, I thought, yeah, this is about as perfect as you can get. And I think this film even gets better. And I'm really curious to see if potentially they do more Sonic films or whatever else they do in this universe, how they can double down now on that. And I think what Jeff Fowler gets is he just understands these characters. And I think the studio is giving him a little bit more of a free realm and not having to play around with more of the human characters. Like, yeah, the human characters are there and some of their quirky interactions, and maybe sometimes that can grate a little bit, but I felt that this film had the best match of it all. And in the usage of them, it didn't feel grating or annoying or feel like we're stopping what we need to be doing. It all felt perfectly in line with the pacing. And I think Jeff Fowler really found a nice balance of that overall, where our characters, Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, Shadow, they are the main characters. And of course, alongside Dr. Robotnik as well. Now, the major pro that I really want to give this film, and this is something that I actually wasn't the biggest fan of when he was announced, and it's crazy to say that because I love Keanu Reeves, but I wasn't really like, oh my God, that's amazing that Keanu Reeves is going to be Shadow the Hedgehog. And a lot of that is just, that's not the voice that I imagined Shadow to have in the movie. I just could not see it. Fathom how Keanu was going to be able to pull off the Maria and specifically the Shadow backstory. But Jeff Fowler did a phenomenal job bringing that backstory to life. Like, flat out, first off, on just a directing level, phenomenal job. Like, as a massive fan of that, I thought everything that they did in that moment was flawless. But what Keanu brings to Shadow the Hedgehog was probably my favorite thing in this. And I said the same thing when Ben Schwartz. Really, he's going to be the voice of Sonic. And after each performance, you really feel like that. And Ben Schwartz is, I'll talk a little bit about him too. He's phenomenal in this. Like, his voice acting is to a whole other level. I almost cried. Like, I almost got teary-eyed at a couple lines that Ben Schwartz and the delivery of that. And I'm just watching him voice a blue hedgehog. That's it. But Keanu needs an acclaim for that too. Like, everything that he does within the backstory and alongside certain moments throughout the entire film, he pays off in every single one of those line moments, and specifically the delivery that just really kept it out there. Yes, the action's great. That's not something Keanu's doing in here, though. It is an actual voice performance that he nails perfectly. Idris Elba is so much fun with Knuckles, and as well as Colleen is just perfect as Tails. I wish they had a little bit more to do, like just a little bit more, but I think for what they needed to be in here, it was perfect, specifically because they're Team Sonic. As far as Antique Sumter are a lot of fun, but guys, we got to talk about Jim Carrey, who I think for just decades, we've all known that he is just a master at comedy, and specifically physical comedy. And I've always thought that he's been fun as Dr. Robotnik. But obviously this time around, he gets to play two different roles. And I thought, okay, that's going to be fun. But he takes it to a whole other level. I genuinely cannot express how fantastic Jim Carrey is in this movie. Like, honestly, might have almost stolen the show from Shadow the Hedgehog. And that's saying a lot because I love the character of Shadow the Hedgehog. But Jim Carrey, just fantastic. Like, if you liked him in 1 and 2, this is like that whole other level. The physical comedy is great. The comedy in itself is fantastic. The usage of the two different versions of the characters that he's playing is phenomenal. I just sat there like giddy, like in excitement that, wow, Jim Carrey, like it just feels like he's back. Like, and I wish he would do more because he excels at stuff like this. Speaking of excelling, the action. The action in this film only gets better than the last. Every single scene just gets top tier. No matter if it's a chase sequence, specifically Shadow on a motorcycle and Sonic going right after him, or a fight scene between the both of them. Like every single one of the moments just really ups the ante and makes excitement for what it is. I think that this one has a little bit less action than Sonic 2, if I can just remember right off the top of my head, but I think it actually works specifically for the story that they're telling, and also for the amount of action that you get in the third act. Like, if there was more fight scenes in the second one, this third one definitely has a longer fight scene towards the end. I mean, Jesus, like I said, it just gets better and better as the film goes on, to where that last 30 minutes, oh man, I was in heaven. I think Sonic fans are going to be in heaven from that. And even if you're not a massive Sonic the Hedgehog fan, but you've just enjoyed these movies, like that last 30 minutes will still get you excited and giddy. And let me tell you right now, if anyone ever tells you that Dragon Ball cannot work in live action, I actually want to say bullshit at this point. Because after seeing the last 30 minutes of this film and also seeing what was able to be done in Shang-Chi, I think you can mix the two tones and absolutely make a Dragon Ball movie in live action. So let's get it done, Hollywood. Let's do it right this time. I mean, I'm still like, just everything leading up to that was awesome. The jokes were fun, all this stuff. It just has the essence of Sonic the Hedgehog. Even some of the callbacks to video games and the way that they kind of integrated it into the real life world, I actually thought really much worked. And I think this is one of the few times where the real life world actually works in the best light. And I think, again, a lot of that has to be acclaimed to Jeff Fowler. But to kind of just end off on the pros, the action again, guys, the action. Oh my God, the last 30 minutes. Oh my God. I can't get it out of my head. Like, it's almost literally, I think it's worth the price of admission just for that. Like, you could just think the rest of the movie's like just fun and fine, but like, wow. Build up to that last 30 minutes that makes it powerful and impactful. And it's because they deliver that essence of what Shadow the Hedgehog should be and what the character is. And alongside the same thing with Sonic and his dynamic and his relationship and what he's learning in this movie. And again, just perfection. And alongside this, there is one really great character beat with Sonic in the third act as well, that again, Ben Schwartz just nailed. I don't want to say anything else other than that, but there's just this one moment, you'll know exactly what it is, that it almost brought me to tears. Exclusively, those are my pros. Diving into my issues, I have a couple small nitpicks that make me go from saying this is a perfect movie. I think it's a perfect Sonic movie, but as a perfect movie, I think the film is a little bit held back in its pacing. Not because the film drags at any point. It actually is just moving so fast. It's go, 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 go. It never feels like we actually have time to breathe. That might be great for some. For me, I would have liked a little bit more development with some characters, specifically Knuckles and Tails and their dynamic with the squad. I think that for me was the only thing that kind of was like, whoa, we're just going. That's going to be different for everybody, but that's the one thing. I think 10 to 15 minutes maybe would have elevated that a little bit more. As well as, again, this is more of a mixed aspect because it didn't bother me as much in this one, but I can see it bothering some. But, the humor. Sometimes it's like they go from this dark, menacing, like, light, and then it's like Sonic humor again from like the first and partially the second movie. And, part of me wishes they would just like obliterate it, get rid of it all. But I also understand that that's an essence of Sonic that you can't get rid of, that cheesy nature of the characters. So I overall understand. But wow, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 just gave me goosebumps all over my body. Keanu's shadow lives up to the hype in ways I didn't even imagine. The action had my jaw dropping, especially in that third act. What a phenomenal way to end the movie. And the post-credit scenes are great, specifically the first one, which is just amazing. But I really thought Jim Carrey has never been better as Dr. Robotnik. I think he's done everything. Wait until this movie. I have a couple minor issues, as I mentioned, but overall, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is the perfect Sonic the Hedgehog movie. I think they perfected it finally. I would go as far as say this is probably the best video game movie. I don't want to say best video game adaptation, of course, because The Last of Us is there, Arcane is there, Fallout is there, but Sonic the Hedgehog 3 showcases that video game movies work, as well as it can show that anime movies such as Dragon Ball can work. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is amazing. It is awesome, and it is a great way to kick off the end of the year. I think this is such a smart idea to put it out around Christmas, and I cannot recommend this movie enough. So with all that said, I'm going to give Sonic the Hedgehog 3 an A. Thank you so much again, guys, for watching this. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe button, comment down below your guys' thoughts. Check out this awesome Christmas Sonic sweater they sent me in the mail. When I got this, I got instantly hyped. It's so soft, and I can't wait to wear it for the rest of the holiday season. But of course, until next time, stay classy.